Now what you're doing.
Guten Abend and welcome. No, I better not start doing German accent. We are going to get shot down. It is
Right, who elected you king?
Ernst
Of the world? Seriously? Come on.
Führer. I'm going to behave before we get completely barred.
I said we're gonna, the three of us. This is gonna keep. Let's just, yeah. Okay. Okay.
Good evening, ladies, gentlemen.
And
Hey, everybody.
we're gonna hold back on the cheap jokes. Cheap jokes.
Hey, like I said though, that steam powered one might actually be an advancement in technologies for them.
Might be.
T-Rex, cheap stuff
Well-
for my love.
Well, at least it's more, reliable.
Well, yeah.
This is true.
Well, at least it's more.
Who left their sound on YouTube?
I was
So
wondering the
now
same
turn
thing.
it off.
Professional operation, people. I'm telling you.
Where?
Oh, I didn't mean here. I was just saying, Jack.
It might be somewhere, but they're right there, mate. No, no chance. The show is likely to descend into
Waffling,
No, it's
blubbering
not.
chaos.
it's not going to descend. It's going to probably stay in stupid jokes and pointless waffle this week.
Start and finish, Matt. That's how we do.
We've got to see how low we can drop
mean,
it this week.
We're waiting for our roving reporter to return from Expo.
Our roving union supporter.
Yeah. Yeah, right, Lee.
Hey, as another union man, that poor bastard.
Hey, it's not our fault that
Lisa.
you lot are union fucking
Oh,
union.
speaking of which, guess what I've been stuck watching for the past weeks thanks to you guys?
I don't know.
On the buses.
Who get you, Blakey?
I'll tell you what,
you,
Matt, I always grain of salt when you guys recommend things sometimes because I know how humor can change, obviously, from UK to US. That show is fantastic. It is freaking hilarious and very well done.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
What can we set
You
in?
need to see the two films.
Oh, geez.
Particularly the one where they go to the holiday camp.
I haven't gotten that far into them, but I just hit the one where they had the house guest because they were short for money.
Yeah,
and he grabs so and so's wife's butt in the middle of everything.
I've got some other films that he needs to watch. Series.
Dude, send me a list that way because my memory is. Send me a list so I don't forget.
Which at the time were considered
risque,
soft.
Oh, Matthew.
No. Wait, you'll like these. Confessions of a plumber's mate. What was
that? No, that I think you're confused now. That one sounds more of an actual
Confessions of a window cleaner.
Confessions of a driving instructor.
Yeah.
And there was another one. And I bet you it's Lee who remembers it.
This week's show has now been upgraded to R-rated. If it gets X-rated, please leave the chat.
Look, everybody
everyone in chat's over 18. Well, fine.
There is nothing wrong with watching a bit of porn.
Matt, you wait until 2 weeks into my cousin being part of the audience to mention this.
How do I know you? I don't know your cousin personally. Your cousin might watch and enjoy watching porn.
This is true.
Not my place to judge.
Or my place to have a thought process on. Goddamn.
Avast, Stevie.
Hey, Steve. What's up, Captain?
Captain Pugwash has arrived.
I'm trying to remember the last of the confession films.
How about the Emmanuel films?
English or French versions?
preferred the French ones.
Yeah.
Matt prefers something French. Holy, going back to the roots now.
No, the French ones were the real Emmanuel films. The English ones were cut down to 60 minutes. They removed all of the sex.
Hey, I could tell you all about the conversation we had at the shop the other day, but we'll leave that for a private conversation.
But yeah, they removed all of the sex from the Emmanuel films and released them in the UK cinemas and wonder why they flopped.
Don't use the word sex and flopped in the same sentence. No sex, please. Oh God, yeah, no sex, please. We're British. That was Ronnie Corbett in it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
God.
Oh, what was the one with Frankie Howard? Because he did one as well, didn't he?
Yeah, there was loads of them done at that time, weren't there?
Yeah.
And they weren't. You can't even describe them as pornographic.
No, they weren't. I mean,
Thank you, Stevie.
then there was the Playbirds films and the Mary Millington films.
God, Mary Millington.
She died way too young.
Yeah. Yeah. What a sort of our age group grew up on those people, really.
Yeah.
You see, when you were a kid, Tyler, you could
Yeah.
go come play with.
Compare
No,
with-
Lee. No,
Hey, no,
Lee,
hey. You gotta think though. I'm in
Lisa
that.
sees
I'm in that generation, right? You guys had, magazines and all that, right? I grew up in the HBO era.
Whoa! Hold on a minute. So now you're calling me a wanker on the live?
Literally, possibly. I mean,
Not literally, definitely, but yeah. No,
if the cap fits.
The cat? No, cap. Yeah. Don't use the cat. That hurts when it claws it.
if the wheels on the chair go round and round.
Yeah. The difference between us and you, Tyler, is you had access to the internet.
Yeah.
Well, you got, it's funny you guys say that because you got to keep in mind until I reach, that teenage maturity level, there wasn't internet really. I mean, there was, but it wasn't something we had access to at the house type thing. No one, we couldn't afford a computer at that time.
Exactly, Bob. I bet, Tyler, when your mum got the internet in, you can see it. Tyler's mum got a computer, the first computer. This is to be used only for schoolwork. Tyler's first search. Big tits. Blah, blah, blah.
No, the best part, it was only for her schoolwork for college.
So what was your mum looking up?
Oh, no, I didn't say I didn't use it. I'm just saying.
There's a thought for you. What was your mum looking up on the internet?
I already know she's a Chippendales fan. We're not going to go there.
That's
says enough, right?
Now, do you mean the Disney Chippendales?
No.
I just thought I'd clear that up. That was all.
It didn't rub off on Tyler, did it? The Chippendales thing.
Oh yeah.
Do not start stripping, please. Yeah, exactly. Chippendale Rescue Rangers.
Instant charity show, Matt. Get the dollar bills flying. Come on.
Small YouTube channel shuts down internet. Uh-oh.
Including dark web somehow.
Very true, Lisa.
As did Mouseman.
We all know who Lisa had posters of people like Peter Steele on her wall. That
Which
was
means
Lisa.
had.
Well, yeah. Didn't want to tell Lee. There's one above the bed.
Well, no, she tells him it's a mirror, so he thinks he's all,
Well, no, Lee would need to grow about a foot taller to be the same size as Peter Steele. Yeah, naked chiseling is dangerous. You don't want to get a splinter in certain places, believe me.
Not as dangerous as naked barbecue, though.
No.
Hey, all I can think about is the woman you showed me that does the forging. Could you imagine a spark hit the wrong place?
It took me three episodes of that to realise that she made knives and things. Oh, Seb back. Guys, he's not looking his best now, is he, old Sebastian? Bless him.
I still remember the David Lee Roth poster that was in, oh God, third album, Women and Children First.
Yeah.
Big black and white poster with him chained to a chain link fence.
Yep.
Jeez, he was physically fit.
You notice how he paused there and really worded that in a certain way?
He's gone all hot under the collar now.
The thing was, David Lee Roth in his day was an athlete. He wasn't just a fucking performer.
He was a gymnast. He was a climber.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never really got into Van Halen in those days.
I did, but that's that little age difference, I think.
Yeah. There's a few Van Halen songs that I always like. Panama was a go-to.
Yeah.
Hot for Teacher.
Yeah.
Not that really for the music, though.
No, that was definitely for the video. Yeah, but it was when they had the lookalike kids in the Hot for Teacher video. And they kept swapping between them, between the band and the kids.
Yeah.
And you got the kids all innocent and them being a lecherous bunch of odd bastards. Yep, that's the one.
Yeah, but that was when you could get away with stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
You could get away with videos, showing women with not very much clothes on in music videos. And
you remember one of the first videos to get banned, and it was a pop band. Duran Duran.
It was.
And that was for the women's wrestling. They nearly got Rio banned as well, didn't they?
Yep. I never saw. I mean, I never seen an issue with it. It's It's stupid because at the end of the day, it's a video. Unless somebody is forced into doing it, or something like that, that's different. But
Well, yeah. Well, past that's entertainment. In all
Yeah,
honesty, it might be your type
that
of
was the one.
not your
Like
type of
Girls on
entertainment.
Film was the
but
one that
and then along came
came
Wasp.
that close to be banned.
Along came Wasp and did "Fuck Like a Beast," which I think the best version of "Fuck Like the Beast" wasn't done by Wasp.
No, it won't.
Actually, Steve, here's I actually had a Duran Duran record.
just one, but still.
Vinyl. I didn't mind Duran Duran back in the day. They were actually quite a good band.
I didn't listen to them until I started going out with a girl who was a big Duran Duran fan.
Fucking fly walking across the camera now.
I was just saying, is that what that is?
The fly's trying to take herself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
No,
a good point. How many times did you buy an album because a girl that you were seeing liked a band? And I can admit to this. I bought Poison. I had a couple of Poison albums because the girl that I was trying to see at the time was a fan of Poison. I sold my soul, but I'm not proud of it. But I did still all have all my Motorhead albums, so that kind of counteracts it, you see.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I did have a Duran Duran album and a Poison album. What was it? Open Up and Say Ah.
Lee is now sat there just shaking his head like,
Yep.
Shaking his head. He's about to start shaking his computer.
You bunch of wankers. You can't say you didn't buy some bad albums in your day, Lee. I bet you did.
No, I want to know like 15, 16-year-old Lee was listening to.
Oh, 15, 16-year-old Lee. I would have said it would have been early thrash.
Anthrax, Slayer.
I'm thinking before that. So I'm thinking it would probably been stuff like, oh Jesus, it would have been like Death.
Venom.
Maybe a bit of Mayhem.
Yeah.
There's a classic thrash band if you really want to go back to the real thrash metal stuff.
What, Mayhem?
Yeah, Mayhem.
Early Metallica.
The first three albums of Metallica were good.
Yeah.
After that, they let Lars get involved. Yeah. Guys, turning into a music show, which is bad because.
Oh, Lisa, if he comes about your music, we'll just set up a room and I'll start playing my music for 15 seconds and he'll be crying. So it's okay.
Yeah, you all just start playing country and western.
I might have gotten into a little bit of my teenage years of the era of club music the other day.
Well, yeah, actually, yeah, Lee would have been before Mayhem, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Jesus. Dio, Sabbath. You can't really fault that list of what.
No, you really can't.
A bit later on, there would have been some Pantera in there.
See that? I was right. Slayer.
Maybe a bit of Suicidal Tendencies.
That would be a bit later.
Yeah. Creator. Do you know my mind's going blank at the minute?
Yeah,
a cathedral.
the problem I've
Testament.
got, is the 80s have just sort of merged into one long bout of music mayhem.
Yeah.
Well, Bill, when you
Because
kill a whole barrel full of beer, every couple of days, it's going to happen to you, buddy.
Oh God. Wrathchild. Oh my God. You have to remind us of Wrathchild.
I actually haven't heard of that
I
one.
never owned that album either.
Wrathchild were fucking awful.
That bad?
They
And
made
were-
Motley Crue look good.
Oh, shit.
Motley Crue had the right name for the band.
Yeah,
Just not a Motley Crue fan. They did a few good
No.
albums. No, I'll take that back. Not that I wasn't a Motley Crue fan. I actually liked some of their stuff.
I didn't mind stuff like Smoking in the Boys' Room.
I didn't like Vince Neil ever.
No,
I
And
can see
Nikki.
that.
Nikki Sixx.
Yeah.
Nikki Sixx is such an arrogant little.
He reminds you of Gene Simmons. As far as like the arrogant jackass type way.
God, you really had to scrape the barrel there, didn't you? You went to
Hey.
Gene Simmons.
I'll give Gene Simmons credit for one thing. He was very good at marketing Gene Simmons.
Yeah.
He made a shitload of money out of Dumb Americans.
Well, you remember the TV show? How much money he made off of that?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
true.
given Ozzy made a fuck lot of money off of the Osbournes when it was playing over here too.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't so much Ozzy who made the money; it was more Sharon. But
Well, yeah.
Given
that, till this day, growing up as far as like the reality show era went, by far the best one was that.
You see, I didn't.
Everybody watched at home with the Osbournes just to watch Ozzy walking through the kitchen in bare feet and standing in a dog turd.
Yep.
Sharon, who let the dog shit in the kitchen? I think that was about every third episode, wasn't it?
It was.
It gave a whole sort of decade of kids this image that Ozzy was always like that, and he wasn't.
Well, we got to think that's the image of Ozzy that I grew up with.
Yeah.
Ozzy has been.
I saw Ozzy as a halftime drunk, dad figure that just moped around the house and did whatever the fuck he wanted.
Well, he's always been that since he was about probably 12.
No, he was a full-time drunk up until the late 80s.
I mean, I saw an interview with him a week or two ago, and he was so drugged out, it was crazy.
Ozzy did nothing by half measures. He was a full-time drunk, a full-time cokehead.
All the stories you've heard about Ozzy are 110% true.
And remember, you haven't heard half of it.
Oh, I'm sure the worst are select groups that hear the stories that actually happened.
I'll tell. All right, there's a story.
I know a lot of stories about people like Ozzy that our code of ethics mean we cannot tell.
Early 80s, Ozzy was recovering from him and Black Sabbath splitting up, living at his home in Buckinghamshire, and which was a farm at the time. And Sharon thought, you know what, it'd be a good idea to get Ozzy something to look after.
Oh, God.
It's a farm.
Right.
We'll get Ozzy some chickens. So Sharon gets him some chickens to look after. He looked after them for about a week, got pissed off with them, came back one night from the pub with a shotgun and blew the chickens to bits. So
I had a feeling it was something along those lines.
He also had a habit of walking to the local pub in the village in just his wellies. That's another known story.
He did sometimes wear a raincoat as well.
Yeah.
But he was completely hammered before he walked out the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I agree, Lee. He does. Watch Decline of the Western Civilization Part 2, The Metal Years. Oh, my God. Jesus.
Be right back, guys.
Well, oh, yeah. Yeah,
Just think, we're missing Expo.
I'm not missing it at all.
No, I'm not either. I don't give a shit. I couldn't give a fuck about a load of idiots. Sorry, Craig, but a load of idiots sitting there slapping each other on the back, going, "Aren't we wonderful?" while trying to get free shit
From an industry that is being killed
by those idiots.
By a combination of those idiots and the politicians.
I have, Lisa. I've completely missed it.
I didn't miss it. I didn't miss it at all. Didn't go.
Tyler got a new missus, or is that his dog?
Hard to tell. No,
the dog's obedient. I didn't miss. I haven't missed it at all in any way whatsoever. I can't think of anywhere. I just no.
The last 3 expos, I just looked and I thought, they're pointless.
Well, the only reason I would go to Expo would be to go and see you, Lee, Lisa, Craig, Stevie. I mean, obviously, Stevie won't be there this year anyway because he's in hospital still, bless him. Possibly Jen, if she was there.
Yeah. BFG, if he went.
Oh, Stevie, BFG, yeah. A Mark, probably.
A Mark.
That's it.
I mean, I can see James anytime I like.
Well, he's just up the road.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, no, that's really, really.
But out of all the vendors, one.
Which honestly, I mean, I get that Expo is a lot smaller than it used to be. But for that to be the only people you want to go see vendor wise, that's sad.
No, this isn't. The thing is, though, out of all the people, there's only one vendor, and I can go see him whenever I want.
Well, yeah.
The problem is you've got all those vendors who are doing fuck all about the industry.
Excellent, Steve. Got an hour with Jasper.
Oh, good. I'm sure he was jumping like crazy and be passed out on the couch when he gets home today.
Yep.
What,
yeah, see you too. But
that fucking fly.
And it's just sitting there. Sitting there.
Fuck off. Upstaged by a fly. Little shit.
He's going to change his name to Jeff Goldblum.
He's going to be flat in a minute. That's what's going to happen to him. I don't think, being serious for a brief second, I don't think there has been any news vaping wise.
As far as over here, vaping wise, no. It's just more, unfortunately, in the US to get any somewhat legitimate facts on anything, this is going to sound sad, but you have to go to TikTok. You have to go somewhere where people aren't regulated on what they're saying, and where you have news outlets that are actually having people report on certain issues they're researching, right? So actually getting a legitimate what is going on is damn near impossible.
I mean,
but you've got mayors and everything in certain states being arrested by ICE officers for protesting the illegal seizure of American citizens.
That's scary.
But Trump made a statement that the next people that they're going after are actual Congress members.
What?
Yeah. But there's also rumors that there is, because of all of the information leaks that he, let happen for certain things that weren't meant to be leaked.
Yeah.
There is talk of actual impeachment in the future, in like the near future. But again, that's rumor. Who knows what's what?
When it comes to your president, it'll change anyway tomorrow.
Well, that's the exact issue, Bill. Like, where do you put your faith in any kind of information?
You can't, because none of the information is fixed.
No.
Oh, no.
At the moment, because everything is back at committee stage, we don't know what's going to happen with vaping.
Yeah.
I mean, until it comes back from that committee stage, we have no idea, and we have no way of finding out, because Hansard don't publish committee meetings. They only publish parliamentary in the two houses, but they don't publish committees.
Well, obviously, it's not the exact same thing, because your political system is different than ours, but it's similar enough. What was it, 2016 or so here, when they tried to do the full vaping ban?
2016 was virtually a worldwide reset. Everybody was on close to the same page.
Yeah.
And then Juul came along, and in America, everything has been fucked up ever since.
I mean, I'm a strong believer. If Juul never happened, the current disposable market that we have that is flooding everything, causing the issues, wouldn't be here.
It wouldn't.
No.
It wouldn't. I mean,
Juul was probably one of the best marketing games ever.
Yeah.
One thing we talked before, their nicotine levels weren't what they say they were.
No, because they claimed 50.
Were they almost 58 to 62, something like that?
They were 50 by weight, which by volume is 59 to 61, depending on whether they're in PG or VG.
Yeah.
And think about, any of us that vape for any time period at all, could you imagine vaping something that high in nicotine for any length of time? I honestly couldn't. It'd be astronomically too much, first of all. But as far as a general consumer market that don't know anything about the industry, I have this little stick thing that I can barely take a puff off and get all the, cool. And then it became popular, and history is history.
The problem is all of the bodies that are talking about how harmful vaping is are still using information from the days of Juul.
Well, exactly. We're still going popcorn along left and right.
Well,
Yeah.
they're still working on that, and you've still got the problem that they have conflated cigarette smoking and vaping. They can't separate the concept of smoking versus using nicotine.
Which I don't get, because look at the differences in our liquids, we know what's in them. We know the full breakdown. We know chemically what we are putting in our body. Yes, we shouldn't be putting anything into our lungs, period. That's a given for anybody. But I'm sorry, I will do this all day long before I pick up a cigarette ever again. Hey, Greg.
Greg, how was Expo?
Mm-hmm.
Or was it a waste of time?
That look on his face says it all.
It was small. And I come on here and he comes in now.
Oh, you know.
Smack him in the head.
It's a good job Craig wears earphones, isn't it?
No, the funny part is if his son still did it, even if he couldn't hear me.
At the minute, Craig's got a fly sat on his forehead. On my screen, anyway.
No, Craig, he's just got a persistent fly problem on his screen and his camera.
It's a small, irritating thing. Reminds me, did you see Vic?
There it is. Get him back. Get him back, man. Swing back.
Well, I am aware of said person.
Right. Now he's gone.
Do you feel like you're home now, finally, Greg? Did that kind of set it in for you?
Yeah, he's been away for the weekend as well with his mate at a campsite as well.
Craig's now thinking, I wish the little cunt had stayed there and all.
He's got school tomorrow, so unfortunately he's had to come back.
Steve said at the hospital is that they're doing a program to get older people that are smoking cigarettes so off on the vaping.
Yeah.
Older people that.
Which is a good move.
Oh,
come
yeah.
on, then.
Yeah.
Give us
All right, Craig, come on.
Give us the thrilling breakdown of Expo.
It was smaller. There was a lot of dead space. Towards the end of it, they had someone from Lost Mary holding up a QR, walking around the Pied Piper of Hamelin with about 15 people following them behind to hope that they'd get a Lost Mary lob towards them. Yeah.
That's sad.
The first person in the queue was a small Scottish man who shall remain nameless.
No, I believe he went back to his hotel room to
Sober up.
encode his videos that he'd done, I believe.
What, all 10 minutes?
Well, no,
I don't know.
it's up.
Well, I got a couple. I got
so you can actually see things now.
a couple of nice bits.
What'd you get?
Shitty pack of playing cards.
You got playing cards from a Vapor Expo. Okay.
Should have gone.
An Ether RTA.
Yep. Hold on, they're about 3 years old.
Oh yeah.
Trilogy RTA.
What color?
That's about 3 years old as well.
I said,
Black
what
one.
color trilogy? Okay.
What did you do?
Black.
Watch
Did they have
the
a
coating on
second-hand
those.
stall there or something?
Watch the
No, it was
coating on those.
Ian that was selling them. It was only 35 quid.
Uh,
To the Cloud9.
that sounds empty.
I would laugh if it was
It's
actually
not funny.
empty.
That is not funny. No, there's cotton in it.
There's the fly.
Oh.
Fly back.
Revenge of the Fly.
Matt, the Lord of the Flies.
A 3-in-1 USB cable from Aspire.
Timu.
A bottle of lemon.
That lemon's nice.
Well, at least he got something decent.
Oh,
A
Bill's
bottle of
favorite.
coconut.
Damn, that means there's a bottle of coconut I can't buy.
Bill, at this point, you should be asking for the
A
concentrate.
bottle of Loganberry.
Do you know what? I bought a bottle of Loganberry. I've still not nicked it up and tried it yet.
It's quite nice, actually.
Yeah.
A bottle of Off the Rails.
Off the Rails is nice.
Mm-hmm. Some battery in that.
Although officially I haven't tried Off the Rails.
Yeah. Okay.
It's quite nice. It's a banana cinnamon. A coil brush. Some Bodo Aliens.
You know, I have to ask, whose squirrels are they?
Suspiciously like Scots.
They are.
Oh dear.
Craig,
Some
give me
more.
your breakdown. I'll send you some
Stop.
quality.
But
Ignore what it says on the owns because it won't be anywhere near what it should be.
yeah, no. But they're reasonable coins.
Should have gone to a photo.
Oh, a bottle of Life is Peach.
The Life is Peach is nice. I tell you what, it
And
blows.
a bottle of raspberry.
Yeah, the raspberry's nice.
Mhm.
But
So
Life is
basic-
Peach, the Life is Peachy blows Vicks peach liquid out of the water.
Yeah, so that's what
I'm sorry, Bill. I've mixed that peach liquid. I've steeped it for months and tried it. I don't care. Anything beats that liquid.
Vicks. Vic. All I can say is Vic has no fucking taste buds.
You know, I don't have the finest taste with myself as far as like certain notes, certain flavors, but I can tell a good from bad liquid. Those recipes are crap. I'm not sorry. Those recipes are crap.
Yeah.
Well, no, I disagree. I believe Vic's recipes have all the ingredients in them.
Oh no, ingredient wise, you
Just
can make
not
that work.
necessarily
You can
in
make
the
it work,
right
but
order.
It's a bit like a
That's the
Les
issue.
Dawson piano piece. All of the notes are there, just not played in quite the right order. And that's basically what Vic's done with Z liquid.
Yeah.
yeah.
If you gave the same concentrates to somebody who actually knows what they're doing instead of that Burke, you could actually come up with a half decent, decent custard.
Yeah.
You know, Matt, I'm not even I won't even say that I am. I'm not a great mixer. I'm a very simple 3-2-1% and then tweak it off of their type person.
Yeah.
I'm actually tempted to take his recipe and see what I can do with it.
If you've
Not
got the
changing a single concentrate. Keep them all the same. Just mess up the levels.
if you've already got the concentrates, mess with the
I
level. One of the things will be less is
Yes,
more.
Lisa, it probably will be.
Hey, Steve, I didn't buy his liquid. I bought the concentrate so I can use for other recipes and figured, hey, let's see how bad his recipe was.
Bad.
Yeah. It didn't, I don't know how to say it. It didn't mix properly. You know, when you do a fresh, shake and vape mix, most of the time it doesn't, you have to let it seep for it to actually come together properly and everything.
Yeah.
Even trying it fresh off the, mix and then letting it seep for about, 2-3 months at least, they don't mix right. Things are still too much and too little here and there.
One of the problems is he puts too much of the creams, the Bavarian cream in.
Yeah.
And you overdo Bavarian cream and you get a sharp chemical flavour.
Victor's custard base is fuck all to do with Victor. The custard base that Vic uses came from the same person who did the killer custard for Chris Bell. Okay. It is a standard stock custard base mix. You can't fuck that up. Somehow, Vic has.
Yeah, and I know exactly how. He's put too much Bavarian cream in.
Yeah, I never use Bavarian cream because it ruins.
I never use it because you go even 0.05% over, and it instantly turns just into chemical warfare.
Oh.
I've had a 10ml bottle of Bavarian cream here. It's got to be 6 or 7 years. Fucking fly. It's got to be 6 or 7 years old.
Yeah, I've got one over there in me mixing that.
There's going to be a punch up between me and the fly in a minute.
And at this rate, the fly's going to win.
Yeah, the
Mad camera. I mean, if the fly wants to be on camera, just come and sit on the end of the microphone or something. No, we all have those mixes from however long ago we did up, forgot to label and threw in a drawer, and then find it 10 years later. Well, not 10 years, but 3 or 4 years later, and you're like, I don't know what that is.
Oh, I've got loads. I do that quite often. Mix stuff up and then forget what I've mixed. Usually because I forget to label it as well.
I must admit, I've got a lot of bottles that I'm seriously thinking, do you know what? I'm just going to throw the fucking lot out because they're never going to get used.
I did that a while back. I still have that custard base that you guys gave me the recipe for. That's finally at it's at that color where the Stevens right.
Yeah.
I've tried it. I tried it a couple months ago when it was still a little bit lighter, and even by itself, we're adding a couple flavors here and there. It still wasn't. It's not my profile. You know what I mean? But I want to try it again now that it's got that deep color to it and see if it's actually got the flavor I'm looking for. Matt, what'd you say? Roughly 6 months to a year on steep time to get that actually right?
Yeah, it's usually 6 months minimum.
I think that one now is probably about 8 months old, roughly.
Should be ready to give it a try now.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Vic hasn't tried making battered Mars bar or something.
He'll probably end up burning himself.
Yeah. We can but hope. So there wasn't anybody at Expo actually talking about the important things then, like the political side of vaping?
No.
Nothing at all.
Nothing that I saw. There wasn't even much saying about it being the 10th anniversary either.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I'll be surprised if there's even an expo next year.
Well, there's one. They're taking the bookings for October already.
Are they?
Apparently, that's going to be a bit better.
I wouldn't count on that.
But there seem to be a lot of other companies.
Right.
But also, a lot of the companies were doing you've got the battery and you've got a tank that you connect onto it and put the bottle in, and then throw that away and then get another one. So it's technically that's how they're trying to get around it.
I've seen that over here. I can't remember what the actual brand name is. It was some off Chinese company, but it was basically, it looked like disposable with, about full size, and then had a notch taken out of it for a pre-filled pod you could put into it full of liquid.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's what it takes for it to be legal, okay.
Matt, you only say it because you got your RDAs and RTAs already.
But when you look at
If you had to vape that way, you wouldn't be happy.
you look at a lot of the regulations, those tanks with additional subsidiary tanks will still technically be illegal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Depending on mill, yeah, because most are what 4 to 5 mil roughly.
No, the law here is 2.
Well, I know, but I'm saying most of these systems that are out now are 4 to 5 mil refill pods. So they wouldn't even work.
Well, it's a 10 ml refill bottle that you push into it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That feeds up to the tank that the tank that the coil and the pod's in, which feeds up to it. That's the way they're doing it.
Yeah, but having read how their definition for a pod system, they are going to be illegal.
Yeah, because they are still technically disposable. Part of the unit is disposable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only ones that are going to be legal are sealed, filled 2 mil pods, where you class the pod as a complete, as a coil replacement and liquid.
Yeah.
Which is going back to 14 years ago.
Yeah. Fucking fly, fuck off.
Steve, I saw Benny Babes had his live going earlier for Expo, and I just honestly wasn't interested at all.
I don't dislike Benny.
No, it's not Benny that I dislike it all. It's just
boring at times.
Yeah. As a person, Benny's actually a nice guy. I can't say he's not.
He is.
You know, he's always been straightforward and everything else with me through any interaction. But as far as the Expo goes and where things have turned to and everything else, I'm sorry. I'm not going to sit 20 minutes of my life watching an Expo video anymore.
No.
You wouldn't get 20 minutes video out of Expo the way it looked, anyway. You know. You'll have videos of Vic going round and waffling on like he does. But that's what it is. I just thought people might have actually got off their arse and done something a bit more on the political side.
I mean, UKVIA was there and World Vapors Alliance.
Oh, World Vapors.
And they did some total of fuck all. I bet.
And the WWF were there as well.
Yeah.
Oh, so we're shaving pandas. So we're saving pandas.
I thought we
and
were
elephants.
Give a panda a Brazilian.
And now the show has nosedived again.
That is so many wrong one sentence there.
That puts me in line of that joke. I farted in a lift. I was wrong on so many levels.
I don't think Mark's put a bit of news up recently about the but there's not really any big news going on at the minute because you've got to wait for Parliament. So
yeah, because the Lord sent it back, didn't it, for them to re-amend it, didn't they?
No, they haven't sent it back. They've put it to a committee in the House of Lords.
Which I'm surprised at, actually.
Because the House of Lords have several things that they don't like in that bill, so that they to do their own assessment of the whole bill,
Right.
send their amendments back.
Oh, their amendment recommendations, right.
Yeah.
I'll be interested to see what they come up with.
Well, considering there's a few of the House of the Lords that actually do vape as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a few in the Lords that know at least a bit about vaping. But also you've got people involved in the retail Lords. So they've an idea.
Yeah.
They have an idea from things that can be done from a retail point of view.
What's this turning into? The Animal Channel with Tyler?
My chameleon wanted to come out.
I'm going to have Johnny Morrison soon.
I can show you her favorite spot. See if she'll do it. Come here.
I've got a chameleon here. It thinks it's a bottle of e-liquid.
No, usually she'll sit on top of my head for like an hour at a time.
Do you think this is safe? Because if the fly goes on my camera, that goes on your screen. There's going to be a punch-up between the chameleon and the fly.
Yeah, there's going to be two cameras down.
Yeah, all there's going to be is marks all over Tyler's screen where the chameleon's been trying to get the fly.
Right.
Maybe we should replace you, Tyler, with the chameleon.
I tried to let her call.
Jesus Christ, I got
running.
bloody Culture Club Karma Chameleon just kicked in my head there. Thanks.
Come on.
I suppose it's a bit poetic justice considering I put Agadoo on our page there yesterday.
You started that one, and I put Union Gap start of the.
No, you put the original version, the Strobes.
Yeah, the Strobes, 1973. Dear, oh dear. What you done with your chameleon now?
Put her back in her tank. Let her relax.
No, the chameleon. Not. Oh. You can get quite big cages to put people in, you know.
Yeah, but the elephant house won't part with them.
Just leave the sign on, don't feed the animals.
Whenever you're ready.
We'd like to apologise for this, but Tyler's brain capacity cannot deal with two things at the same time.
He can only do with one, as demonstrated.
Well, there's only so many brain cells to fire between, you know.
What do you think of that then, Tyler?
What? I was distracted. I'm serious. I was given something that's actually come really in handy. I actually have ointment for my joints that are going to help with my knees and my ankles.
Oh, okay.
What ointment is it?
What is this? This one, oh fucking hell! If I can pronounce that, dicylofenac sodium gel.
Oh, Voltarol gel
and lidocaine gel.
Yeah, Voltarol gel.
It's either that, or he's got his gel for the pubic warts.
Hey, those cleared up already.
Yeah, diclofenac's on my list of not allowed anymore drugs. because
Mm.
it's been proven to cause heart attacks.
Ooh.
Yeah. So don't drink too much of it.
Although if you prepare a whiskey mac and squirt about a third of a tube in and give it to Darcy, you'd be fine.
May cause sleepiness.
Long term.
No.
No, a third of a tube will only make her drowsy.
Or dopey.
That's already there.
No, he's on screen. Yeah, what about the other 6 dwarfs?
Mm.
Well, they're off getting lucky with There's a sick and twisted way to look at a child story.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there is.
tag team and Snow White, yeah.
Snow White was just a dirty little hoe.
Mm.
No, she was only halfway there. They were short. Body count of half what you'd expect.
You're more likely we're going to get banned for fucking being anti-heightist now, huh?
Master, if I last another 10 years, I'll be a dwarf.
Ain't far off now.
All I can imagine is coming over to visit, being like, "Hey, Bill, how you doing?"
But don't forget, as I get shorter, I get closer to being able to punch you straight in the nuts.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say shorter and angrier, right?
And Bill, that is when you put your big rings on.
Oh, those ones, yeah.
The big rings.
You mean the Raven Skull and Ravenclaw rings and things like that?
Punch
Yeah.
Tyler
Yeah, the
in
ones that are
ring.
hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ones that are hot, yeah.
He'll enjoy that.
Mm.
Cheapest vasectomy you'll ever get.
Mm.
Oh, what you get up to, Tyler, is up to you.
Speaking of which, Matt, what's up with that drip tip, buddy?
What's wrong with that drip tip?
Match it with the tank. You got a heck of a tall setup going.
You mean?
I knew he was gonna pull it. Just try it out. I knew it. No, see, Matt, you're not doing it right, man. Pinky out.
A massive 26 watts.
Mm.
Oh, trust me, running that new Alien I made a couple weeks back, running it under 40 watts is. I never thought I'd actually get a decent vape off under 40 watts.
But you can.
Oh yeah, which is funny because if you guys know my style, I'm a mech guy. I like high power and low ohms and everything else.
Fucking
Shit,
ridiculous.
this is a 0.64.
When you need something a little bit longer.
Just a tip, just for a second, just to see how it feels. So
Yeah. The tip's about 3 inches long, yeah.
But that is proper mouth to lung. Criticising somebody who is a mouth to lung vapor, Victor, why is it that the small Scottish Burke goes on about I vape mouth to lung all the time, but he doesn't own any Steam Crow tanks. Steam Crow, Soy Master.
I'll say he owns Steam Crave. He's shown how well the dam method works.
He doesn't.
Yeah, it damn well leaks.
Mm.
Oh look, he doesn't
Damn.
leak.
Damn.
He doesn't own any K-Fun stuff.
Actually, you know what's funny? I actually used to be a decent, regular watcher of his channel. I don't think I've ever seen anything K-Fun related on any review.
That's because
K-Fun won't pay him.
K-Fun won't give
Mm.
their stuff away.
Mm.
K-Fun don't do free shit. They don't need to.
Well, no.
Yeah.
Well, it's like Kennedy nowadays. I mean, yeah, in the early days, they sent things to reviewers. You would never get say Kennedy released something brand new, revolutionary next week. They're probably not sending it to anybody.
Nope.
No,
No.
don't need to. Same with Svomesto, same with
Dwarf.
Well, think even Billabong never did.
no.
Mm.
And
You
those
see-
are your high-end companies that actually sold a decent margin at a good price point for them.
But
Mhm.
people like Soy Master are still selling. They're still selling their stuff, even though it's not cheap. Fuck me, it's not cheap.
130 for the K-Fun X.
I mean,
K-Fun
yes, there has been advancements in technology as far as their tanks go, but let's be honest. Look at the newest K-Fun and the original K-Fun. They're not that far off.
The K-Fun 5, what I'm using now, is a better vape than any other mouth to lung tank out there. I'm telling you now, it's fucking far superior to this day.
The last time they really changed anything was when they changed the actual deck on the 5, and they've basically stuck with that deck ever since.
Yep. I've got
Before the K-Fun 1 and the K-Fun 2, they tried all sorts of weird combinations for fitting your coils. But it wasn't until the 4 was pretty good, and the 4 is nearly the same build deck as the 5, and the 5 is the same deck as the 10.
Yeah. What is so good about K-Fun stuff is the build quality.
I'll say I'm sure the machining threading is perfect.
Oh, it is perfect. And when you put it together,
You can't see it.
You can't see where the gap is.
The joint.
It's that well machined.
So I bet you when they do the final pass on machine, they probably have it all assembled to where you get a clean.
It's because it's German engineering. It is
It's a higher level of
top
position.
quality.
But the stupid thing is, some of the clones
Are as good.
bloody close to the quality.
Mm.
I mean, bloody close. The only reason you'll see the joint on some of the Chinese ones is they have taken the burr, they've taken the sharp edge off where they.
I don't think I've got the K-Fun X. And I don't think the K-Fun X is as good as the K-Fun 5, to be honest.
No.
Honestly, I haven't followed K-Fun and how their deck designs have been for a number of years. I think the 3 was the last one I saw, and it was still the regular 2-screw, center holes design.
It still is.
So it hasn't changed build deck wise.
No. I want a K-Fun 5 squared, which is a more of a direct to lung build.
Bigger airflow pin, probably.
The Midnight Edition.
Yeah.
It's 179 quid.
Jeez. And I'm feeling scared about buying the Kennedy RDA at what, 100, 110 US?
Yeah, but at least you haven't got to pay. If you had to pay tax on it from China, you'd be screwed. It'd be about 400.
Yeah.
Well, like I said before, the current wave of new disposables hitting from China once old stocks are out is estimated instead of about $20 to $25 as it's been for a couple of years, going up to at least $50 to $60 a disposable.
Yeah.
Evening, William.
Hi, William.
Depends what you want, and Victor's like, oh, I know he's slagged K-Fun off because he said they're too expensive. But you get what
anything's
you
too
pay for.
expensive if you won't spend the money for a toothpick.
I didn't pay full price for that, but because I bought it as part of the deal with Oxford. So I didn't pay like the 140 quid it was at the time, but you can't really moan about the build quality.
Well, no.
Oh, I've got a K-Fun 2 up there on the shelf. That had an awkward build deck.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
But the flavour of it was bloody good.
With the round post that you have to wind your wire around them.
Yeah. And the other weird thing about that was the way you filled it, because you had to fill it with a syringe.
Yeah.
Oh, did they have the bottom screw, Bill?
No. It had a spring valve diagonally into the side.
Yeah.
You had the right angle and everything extra.
You had to have it inverted and inject it at an offset.
Yeah.
Very, very odd system, but the full version of it was great because it had something that I've not seen in a tank for years. It had a condenser at the bottom, which used to catch all of your condensed liquid, or if you got your wicking wrong, it caught the liquid, and you could empty it.
What are you on about, William? What about the 2019 K-Fun?
Yeah. The 19 was only a variation on the 5.
Yep. They did the 5 mouth to lung, the 5 restricted to lung kit, the K-Fun 5 squared, the K-Fun 5 squared midnight edition.
See, as far as mouth to lung goes, it's never been my go-to at all. The only mouth to lung tank that I've ever actually had was that it was the Vapors MD one, the second one, that was the Berserker or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I mean, no matter what I did build wise, got the ohms where it should be and everything else, tried, from 0.35 up to 0.7. It's just not a vape that I can actually use. Yeah,
but you vape differently.
Well, and but we've seen how many people over the years that go back and forth. Take Grim Green for example. He's both sides of things. As far as getting away from smoking and cigarette feel and everything, I can't do mouth to lung.
You can't.
It's too similar, and I don't get the flavor I'm looking for. Given I don't have liquids that are specially made for mouth to lung that are not over flavored, but a high enough concentration to get the same levels you get off of, an open direct lung.
Then you mix some.
Yeah, you mix some. You just got about 20% higher on your concentrates. That's all.
See, that's what I was wondering, is how big the difference was in concentrate.
It's only 20%.
In here at the minute, I've got 6 milligram. Yeah, 6 milligram, because my head's starting to buzz. It's 6 milligram. So, and the only thing I've changed on it is I've just upped the nick. That's all I've upped on it.
Yeah,
and I'm still getting it's still getting flavour.
Which liquor are you using?
I'm using a blackcurrant, one of my blackcurrant ones. You know,
See,
blackcurrant that you
Which-
idiots in America don't have blackcurrant.
I actually have concentrate for blackcurrant that I got off the guy that makes them local in my state because he does the natural extract and everything. They're a little bit pricey for a 30 mil. It's a little pricey, but it's decent concentrate for what it is. It's just it's not very strong. Put it that way.
It
You
won't
know.
be. It won't be.
But I do have a full bottle, full 30 mil blackcurrant. I don't know if it's the way he did it or the way my taste palette is, but it's just not. It's almost like a very, very earthy, like
It should
dulled
be
down
slightly
blueberry almost.
Yeah, this is the trouble with you Americans. You're used to blueberry. Blueberry here is, I suppose it's more popular now, but blueberry is not so much a flavour we would go to.
We gotta remember, especially in the early days, blueberry, watermelon, all pink lemonade, those were huge and still are to a certain degree.
I mean, pink lemonade's always been huge here.
Yeah.
See, I like a good pink lemonade, but to get a decent lemonade concentrate that actually makes a good liquid, man, it's a pungent liquid. You know, you can tell it's hitting your coils hard.
It shouldn't do, no.
I
A good
can't remember
lemonade shouldn't be particularly bad on coils.
One of
I
the
don't-
ones I mean, I use a blackcurrant lemonade for mouth to lung.
I'd have to go through my concentrates and see which lemonade I actually have because I haven't used it in a long time.
You can't always add raspberry to blackcurrant,
Yeah.
or you can do a Shrek and go with strawberry and blackcurrant.
You
Go
had to
with-
go there.
Go raspberry. Just fuck the strawberry. Go raspberry.
You know, I honestly don't think I've ever got a raspberry concentrate. Or coconut actually, but I also went through a period of lava flow, and I vaped so much lava flow that I couldn't do the coconuts and the pineapples and everything anymore.
Yeah.
Especially the pineapple.
Strawberry is so fucking overrated.
And I'm sorry, to get a good strawberry, yeah, you might need 2 or 3 actual concentrates that are strawberry, but you need like 6 more that are not strawberry to make it taste right.
Yeah.
I use 5 strawberries. If I have a stone mixed, which is what I'll use that if I ever mix anything in strawberry now.
I don't bother.
Very, very bother with strawberry now because I would rather have it raspberry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The little bit of sharpness makes it pleasurable.
Well, that's like, I know my grape liquid that I make, I actually add Fuji apple to it where it gives you that bite and gives you that little bit of sour to it.
And don't forget his cactus because he likes a prick.
There's always a percent of cactus.
But when you're playing with flavors, there is so much out there. There are so many concentrates out there.
Yeah.
Well, it's like
the only way of finding out which ones are worth it and which ones aren't is to try them all.
Yeah. Like I had a guy a couple of years back at a vape shop local that he had tried the grape that I make, and he liked how the profile came out. And he's like, "Well, cool. If you want to sell stuff in the shop, I can do that, but you have to come up with like a 5 flavor range to a wider variety of people." Sure enough, the first things he wanted a watermelon, he wanted a strawberry, he wanted a blue raspberry. It's like those are so far fucking overdone.
Yeah. Everybody does a strawberry. Everybody does a watermelon. Raspberry and watermelon's a good flavor. Another one that I like was raspberry and honeydew melon.
Yeah. I mean, I used to vape DIY or Die's watermelon recipe, the watermelon recipe.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
look at that recipe. There is one watermelon concentrate in that entire recipe.
But I would rather get the honeydew melon than a watermelon.
For the actual depth of flavor and the sweetness and everything, I see what you're saying.
It just gives you a depth of flavor.
Watermelon is usually harsh as fuck.
Yeah. Especially that candied watermelon flavor.
Peanut,
They're past a 3 milligram feels like it's 12.
Yeah.
I never really got on with peanut butter, William. Never really got on with any of the peanut butter ones.
That's another one like strawberry though. If you can get it right, cool. You actually got something right, but good luck getting there.
I think that's more me.
It's too, for me, especially because I'm more of like a low ohm, higher wattage vapor. Anything custardy or peanut buttery, it tastes burnt. I don't get the sweet flavors from it. It tastes burnt.
If a custard's tasting burnt, sounds perverse, but turn your power up 5 watts.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it just because it's not hitting the proper temperature to hit the notes how it should be?
Yeah. And what happens is it doesn't. It's not heated up fast enough to disperse, so it starts to taste burnt instead.
Okay, gotcha.
You need it to heat up faster for anything with a vanilla in, basically.
Yep.
It always needs that little bit more power than you think. Because
I would have thought the opposite. I would have thought lower levels of power would actually bring those, bakery notes up.
Yeah, what I'm vaping now at 97 watts can taste burnt. At 103 watts, it's fine. In fact, it's good.
I'm gonna have to pull that custard base out and throw some fresh wicks and something and see how it turned out. Throw the wattage up a little bit.
I don't know what wattage I'm vaping this at, but I know what ohms the coil is.
Yeah.
Roughly, Matt, what are your ohms?
Mind your own fucking business.
So about like that setup right there. About what I built last week.
It's not a 007.
Chicken shit. I mean, what?
No, it's not a 007.
Oh. He got those 60 amp Molly cells in and is feeling cocky.
It's below.
Oh, God.
And I know how below.
Okay, so he's talking below that, right? This is about that build. And it's hot enough that yeah.
It's spicy.
But no, I got some of a fresh batch of Dave's coils in, and they are spot on.
Yeah,
they came out exact.
Is it me or does the dog? You know they say dogs and their owners look alike.
Yeah, but the dog's got a better beard.
Come here. Good boy.
The dog's is the brains behind it.
Yeah, he's also a pain in my ass.
No, it's not CC Coils. It's Dave Watman.
Although Ian does do some good coils from CC.
He does do some good coils, yeah.
Ian does do some good coils, but Ian never sent me the coils that I won on the charity live that time.
He never sent you those?
Nope.
Yeah,
shit,
well,
I get I was late on sending stuff over from the last charity that I was involved in for the live, but
all I should say on that is a lot of those things like the coils on that particular live don't forget, were sent into the people who were running that show at the time.
So they could have been sent, but never resent.
Well,
Yeah,
I don't
it's
think they
possible.
were sent.
Well, I mean, they were sent from the people that actually offered them up for the. For
Oh,
the
I
auction.
think Ian sent them. I think maybe the person who was supposed to send them on maybe didn't.
That's what I was thinking.
Mm.
I'm being careful what I say. That's all.
Mhm.
To be honest, I wasn't bothered because at the time I thought I was supporting something worthwhile.
Me.
Mm.
No.
Oh, worthwhile. That's
Yeah, Craig, there you go. With it actually on a mech. That's a higher owned build than what Matt's on right now.
Stop moaning. It's feisty.
So is this when it actually vapes itself through the airflow.
Mm.
I mean, these are the coils I'm using. Get it right.
Left, right, up, down.
Dave,
Hey,
what?
you leave my mushroom eating skills out of this.
Mhm.
But I can honestly say, if you go to Dave Watman's, he'll make custom coils, but his standard coils are fucking good.
Yeah, he's.
They really are. It takes a lot to impress me.
Well, and the thing about being a builder, we've all seen it. How many times have you gotten stuff from builders that they weren't supposedly the highest quality as far as their reputation goes, but you said, okay, cool, I'm going to go for these. And then you've got legs that are twisted, they're uneven, the wraps coming off the end of them.
Yep.
Yeah, none of that with these. The thing
I'm
is,
sorry.
this is
If
the
a
third. This is the third order I've put in with him.
I'm sorry, as a builder, if I have a set that comes out and it's not, in all honesty, perfect, they're not getting sold. Period.
But I mean, Dave will make 3 and 4 core staggered fuse Claptons, which are, as anybody who builds knows, are a bitch.
A fucking pain, easily.
Well, he can produce those reliably, day in, day out.
Mm.
Well, the amount of time it takes to make a set of staggered fuse compared to especially a 4-core compared to a set of aliens is what, 4 or 5 times the time?
Yeah. Because everybody forgets you're actually making the same. To make one set of coils, you're making 5.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and especially once you get
for a quad core, you're effectively making that coil 5 times.
Yep.
well, and the funny thing is, Bill, people don't think about when it comes to the staggered fuse is you obviously have to crimp your wire so often to keep everything into the fuse.
Yeah.
You're only fusing maybe 3/4 of an inch at a time, and you're taking your nylon pliers and crimping everything down, then another 1/2 inch, crimp it down, and it takes a while.
He posted photographs of his workbench, and he's got it well set up. I mean, really well set up.
Yeah.
Oh, if I could get some of the dovetail setups that they make, or at least used to make for building, and actually, you got a thumb screw to set up your actual distance and everything, and it all stays on a solid rail, nothing moves, nothing's off angle, that'd be perfect.
That's what he's got.
Yeah.
He probably got one of the who was
No, he
it
made
that made
it himself. No, he
Oh,
made
did
it
he?
himself.
Okay. I know who was it? 3D Vape was making custom 3 printed, clamps and everything for a while.
Yeah, these
Hey, Martin.
I think he bought one of the I think he bought
Martin.
I think he bought the head clamp, but then he swapped it out for magnetics instead of bearings.
Which honestly, I have literally both set up right now on my stand. It all depends on what wire gauge you're working with.
But I mean, these are 20. 2738.
Yeah, a magnet would work actually well for that because a 27 is heavy enough to actually keep it spinning properly.
Yeah.
I just don't like the idea of magnets doing it. I just
It's
it just
Well, keep in mind though, Matt, if you're going to do the magnet thing, let's say you have to use a washer or something similar as far as your back end of your wire. If you don't have the ball bearing on the front of that, it's never going to work.
no, it's not going to work.
It's never going to work because you need that tiny point of contact for it to actually spin off of.
Yeah.
Yeah, it certainly did, Martin. Yep, certainly did, and he's still pleading. Oh, sorry.
I was actually curious about that on who fronted the bill for his trip.
I don't fucking.
It's not important enough to actually look into or actually find out, but it is a curiosity.
Some moron.
Well, I know he did have his 2 breakfasts.
Yeah, but he had to pay for one of them. He was really upset about that.
That's why he goes the second one. He get his money's worth.
No, that's why he left Expo early to get his video ready.
The poor struggling Scottish reviewer.
I can't buy any liquid.
I am a poor struggling Scottish reviewer. No, you're just a freeloading, whinging little shit.
Free shit for next leper.
Yeah, I like that one. There's plenty of people who do reviews who like who pay for their own shit, you know. And why does he think people are actually going to feel sorry for him?
Well, no, that's the scary part, Matt. Some people still do.
It's people fall for the bullshit.
Yeah. We all have medical issues,
exactly,
but we don't make YouTube videos about it trying to get sympathy and everything else.
No. I am not my condition. I am me.
I am not a number.
I am a free man. We're seeing you.
See, that dates us through. I honestly couldn't care less if people are stupid enough to go and pay for Vic and to pay for his stuff. Whatever. Yeah.
No, the best is when he comes back from Expo and goes, "Look at all this stuff that I purchased for review." Really?
What, both items?
If he's had to buy stuff,
he'll be crying.
Well, think he bought the second breakfast, so he's gonna have a new review channel.
Well, he's going to review his breakfast.
He's gonna have a takeaway channel. That's where it's going.
Gonna make a pie. Going to make a pie using a tortilla wrap instead of pastry.
Yeah. And whose ear is he going to fall in love with?
Bill, I told you, wear the earmuffs, man.
Now, I was talking to one of my neighbours earlier today, and I said, one of the things pisses me off is people who insist on being defined by the conditions. She said, she's the same. She goes, "No, I despise this whole snowflake thing and this whole thing. I identify as a cat." I said, "Well, it's simple, isn't it? I identify as a Sherman tank and just bulldoze straight home." And just for the sheer hell of it, because I've got to know Paula quite well over the last week. I goes, "Now," she goes, talking about it, and she goes, "Oh, I identify as a cat." And I goes, "I identify as a Sherman tank." And I just went, whoop. Just stopped shy of bulldozing there. And she goes, "Actually, I like that one." It makes more bloody sense than identifying as a cat.
Well, Vic now identifies as a small Scottish Nazi.
He thinking about it. He does have similarities. There's the height.
There's the complex.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a difficult one, that was, Lisa, agreeing with something Diane Abbott said.
I know, that was scary, wasn't it? Trouble is, she's bloody right.
Yes, she was. It was one of those situations where you sort of thought, I can't really argue with this. It's like, oh fuck.
Man, have you seen on the whole disability and all that? There are currently 80 rebels.
Yeah.
40 have formally signed a letter to the PM.
Yeah.
And another 40 are in support. And if it gets pushed to the next level, will sign it. And that number's going up. That number is going up on a daily basis. Because a lot of these MPs are now starting to talk to their constituents and realise how big an issue disability is.
It's a massive issue.
Yeah, it's a big, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't think the government realise quite how big a fuck up they've made.
No.
You know, it's massive. Massive fuck up.
Yeah, I watched the debate as well, Lisa, and you're right, she was spot on everything. But they've got a backbench revolt of 80.
Garlic break.
And that is going to go up as well.
Ex-urinate.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, Martin, though. The way the government's trying to push personal independence payment and that is ridiculous. I want to say, Lisa, yeah, 80 is not enough, but 80 is only signed up this week to go against Starmer. And that number is growing. And you're right, Lee. Labour are pretty revolting already. Actually, they're very revolting. But it could mean that some of the plans Starmer's got for 26 might end up in trouble.
Well, we've got to get through this year first.
Surviving this year isn't going to be the easiest thing on the planet.
Yeah.
For anybody.
But it's next year when all the planned trouble's going to start for the disabled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that's going to come up is by summer break, a lot more of the MPs are going to have been back and had the community.
Attitude, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's going to be a wait and see game because.
Well, think, Matt, it's like over here right now. You get little bits of information here and there about what's actually going on and what might be going on and blah, blah, blah. And then you wait to see what actually rolls out, a month from now.
I think you're right, Martin. I don't think the backbenchers are taking it much longer. But
I said they've got a 200 odd MP revolt on some of the other stuff.
and I think, I mean, there's a lot of people, in government that want Starmer out.
Yeah.
The issue is he is in such a position of power, and he has people behind the scenes like Tony Blair backing him.
Tony Blair.
Yeah, Tony B. Lawyer. How do you get him out? There's a simple way of getting him out, which I personally am all for, which is sort of like John F. Kennedy and, oh dear, look, Mr. Starmer's got a hole in his head. Oh dear. Which I quite like.
No, Matt, because then give it 6 months and we're going to have a Starmer RDA.
The problem is if
At least
somebody
from
was
everywhere.
to make him into a martyr, which it would,
Mhm.
who do you have coming in next after Starmer?
I prefer to think of the image of a tomato when you shoot it.
I like tomatoes.
Mm.
I like tomatoes. I like tomatoes as well, but it is fun when you shoot one with an air rifle.
You know, you're going to end up with one of the other idiots in power or from Labour.
Oh, God, that is a scary thought.
Yeah. You're going to end up with like Rachel Reeves or I mean, can you imagine if for some reason we ended up with David Lammy?
Oh, God, no.
I mean, I get that there are people in this world don't know everything about everything, you know, but you need to know about what you're talking about in the job you do, the position you're in.
Yeah.
How did that man get into a position of political power?
Oh, before you said political, I thought you were back on about Vic.
Oh, well, yeah, but no, I was actually being serious. I mean, how did J.D. Vance get into that position?
Intimidation.
You know, not going on about Trump, but I mean, Jesus Christ, J.D. Vance, he's a raving lunatic. He is dangerous.
Well, look at
You've
not
got
just
a
viewpoint,
raving
how
lunatic.
he approaches it.
Yeah,
you know.
but you've got a raving lunatic stood behind a raving lunatic.
That is, do you know, Lisa? I totally agree with you. He certainly did. He definitely backed Keir Starmer.
Yeah.
Firmly from behind.
Oh, so since we're already on this, you know, trajectory for conversation, have you seen all the Americans that are whinging about the fact that the new Pope, that is technically American born, did not speak in English for his, like, I don't know the actual term for it, but his actual, you know, being into priesthood or popehood and everything.
Yeah.
I think
That's normal. He spoke Latin.
It was like Latin, Italian, and something else. But there's actually Americans whinging the fact that he didn't speak English.
It's the Roman Catholic.
Roman Catholic.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
He will speak Italian, Latin, and Russian normally.
He will speak he'll speak in his natural language. If it's American, yes, he probably will speak in American. I mean,
but not when he's doing a mass.
Right, exactly. And people don't seem to realize the difference.
If he's conducting mass in Rome, it's going to be done in Latin. And that's true, Lee.
Hey, Lee, I don't know there what you talk about there. What you call? We'll get back to that talk in a minute.
For our viewers, Tyler is talking American, or bollocks, as I prefer to call it.
It's
I've
better,
got no.
it's
I
better than
mean,
the Cockney accent because I can't understand that shit for anything.
the thing is, right? It's
I'll take you out to some of the villages in Yorkshire Dales. You'll be fucked.
I've got nothing against
We are.
anybody is. I've got nothing against an American, it being an American Pope. I think, yeah, okay, that, whatever. That's
If you're deserving of the position, you've done things properly, you say things the way they should be seen. I don't see an issue with no matter where you're from.
I think the Catholic religion is still, personally, I think it's a joke anyway. But
It's a bad joke, though.
that's just my personal beliefs. But how can you turn around as a country and say he should talk American? No, God. Way to go, America! Show how stupid you really are.
I didn't know bullshit English were languages.
Depending on the denomination you're at. I mean,
Well, yeah. I mean, if you go Southern Baptist, then you go full bullshit.
Yeah, full bullshit. Yeah.
then there's the hardest language of all the languages in the world to understand, which is Macanese. But
Arkansas.
Now you want to get down into Louisiana in the swamp.
Well, no, that's just French.
It is
Yes.
actually.
yes and no.
The only trouble,
Depends which part of the bayou you go to.
the only trouble is it's medieval Middle French. It's not modern French.
Right.
The Westboro Baptist. Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
Martin, are you feeling okay? Yeah, I read what you just said. That you just said I was making sense. Are you okay?
The Westboro Baptist Church.
No, this was a relative terms, Tyler.
Oh,
Meaning-
okay. Relative American versus the rest of the world. I get it. Okay.
No,
Yeah,
I mean
that's
one
what-
of your relatives might have spoke sense, but you didn't.
The trouble is, they spoke sense in German.
I was just gonna say, too bad you go back 2 generations. It's actually very, very strict German.
I just America is seriously
Fuck,
It's the melting pot of stupidity.
oh, yeah.
melting pot. I thought it was the cradle of stupidity.
I just can't believe
No, you got to think, Bill. The early generations are getting up to them years now. It's just a hole of shit.
Yeah.
Oh, Mel is still in. I thought Mel had fallen asleep. I just I wonder if Mel's got any good stories on Tyler.
No, like I said, we actually didn't grow up together. Because okay, backstory. We're not going to go into super detail because it is my personal side of life, or whatever.
Yeah.
Long story short, my biological dad, that is Melissa's family, I didn't find out even existed till I was like 17, like 16, 17.
Oh, okay, cool.
So, and then I met him once and then found out that he was an alcoholic and I wanted to kick his ass and I never met him again because that's safer.
That sounds reasonable.
It's not my place to judge, mate. That's-
No, like if that's why I said the way I said though, Matt. If whether it's me, you, Craig, Bill, whoever is comfortable enough saying certain things about their personal life, go for it. We're all going to be here to support and we're going to have the conversation. But if you don't want to talk about it, keep it to yourself. It's not going to hurt anybody's feelings.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I have no problem with that.
And in all fairness, with who we always have in chat between you guys, I trust everybody in the situation to say things.
Yeah.
You can always rely on a family to be fucked up. somewhere.
Oh, come on. I don't do it often. Be fair, I don't do it very often.
He does. He just does it real quick so you don't notice.
It's still quite off-putting seeing you towel up around your head as well. So yeah.
Be thankful you could only see from there up.
I was. I was.
The problem is he only has one towel, so it goes on his head. The tea cloth, on the other hand,
No.
It's when he gets up, walks out the room, and you go, "Fuck me, it's full moon again."
Bill
Why'd I just
Tarzan
get a
Richards.
thought of a loincloth?
What's that? Bill Tarzan Richards.
Jesus.
There's something wrong with your brain, Craig. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Why'd I get the image of Bill the jungle swinging into a tree?
See, that's what I was thinking as well with Tarzan. Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Well,
Very
exactly.
true, Martin. Yeah.
That's how we all of us are.
Hmm.
If anybody actually offends something, what's the first thing any of us would do? We would stop. We'd tell the person who said it, "Hey, I feel like you crossed that line." We would deal with it right then and there, and we'd go on with how we're doing. You know.
Mhm.
The other thing is the one person we do target. A, we do know,
Yeah.
and B, we do have good cause. He keeps proving it.
What,
And
Tyler?
in all fairness,
No, I'm thinking of the small statured Scottish one.
Oh,
think,
Craig.
Bill, he has full access to contact any of us through Facebook if he actually had an issue.
He's had plenty of chances.
Too late, Lisa.
He has had plenty of chances to come back at us. If Vic was going to come back at us, he would have come back at us by now. He knows what I'm saying is the fucking truth. That's what
He would have said, he had enough time to say something to me at Expo if he was having an issue.
Another thing is, I've said nothing on here that I won't say to his face.
Well,
And
yeah.
I've said when we were in some of his private streams.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not two-faced like that. But he has done more to piss off people in this country than literally anybody now.
Well, I think, in all fairness, besides, me and maybe two other people, there's probably no one in the United States that knows who Vic even is.
Oh, not according to Vic.
All right, well, tell him to come over here. We'll set up a whole PR event. We'll see if people show up.
And throw things at him.
No, that will get us numbers, Matt. I'm saying just an actual.
Well, I know one person who would show up. I can also, though, see him punching him square in the nose.
Oh, the best part is Vic would think he has grounds to stand on being in this country, and he hit me. No one gives a shit.
Yeah. And the person I'm thinking of designed that RTA.
So they don't get along at all, do they?
No. Not at all. And he has said as much in live streams that they've both been on.
I mean,
really?
he also pissed Grim off as well, because Grim turned around and said because Vic came out with his quote about what was going on in America. Well, I told everybody in America
Hiya, Mike.
they should do
Yeah,
this.
Mike.
They should do
Hey,
this.
Mike.
I told them, and then he kept this going, and then Rip turned around to him and said, "Well, Rip." Grim Green turned around to him and said, "You know, you need to mind your own business and sort your own country out."
Yeah.
And he was spot on. You know?
And that thing he said
That
the
was
other week
rough
about
TPD era.
Oh, but the thing he said the other week about Vic's done more for vaping advocacy than anybody else. Fuck off.
More false information, basically, and being like, "Oh,
We've
we're
done
fine.
more-
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. No, we're fucked. Sorry."
Yeah. basically. But it's all these claiming that he's got inside knowledge from different MPs,
which he hasn't.
which he hasn't.
No.
His own local MPs banned him.
Yeah. I don't know whether it did go all the way, but his local MP did talk to at one point. I think talk to the actual authorities, shall we say, possibly police. I'm not sure. I don't know 100%, but there were rumours that they had, because Vic was going on and on about the local MP and how he was spouting out how he talked to the local MP, and the local MP was telling him this, that, and the other.
A whole bunch of false bullshit.
And it was absolute bullshit.
Yeah.
As an MP, these MPs cannot be sat in Parliament and then be talking to Vic and saying, "Oh, Vic, you won't believe what's gone on in the Houses of Parliament."
Yeah.
No.
Well, Well, and think, where is he going to run into somebody in that? Oh, we just stopped at the same bus stop. No, the fuck you didn't.
You don't get that kind of information. There are a few people involved in vaping who have contacts in Parliament. John Dunn being one of them.
Mm-hmm.
But John usually will turn around and say, "I have spoken to somebody in a position, blah, 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 blah." But he will never, ever say who.
Yeah.
And he will never tell you the outcome of a conversation unless he's been given clearance to.
Because if he did,
well, for good reason, yeah,
he would be in serious shit. Yeah.
Same goes for Clive Bates.
Yeah.
They're both trying to play. They're trying to play.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure there's a statute of what you can and cannot say for all kinds of situations if you have that position.
I think it comes under
official secrets.
Thank you, Craig. Yeah.
Official secrets and parliamentary privilege.
Because if it'd be like Mike, obviously people might know Mike is in the Rolled Up Trouser Leg Brigade Club. That's just me taking the piss out of Mike. But I'm sure Mike has met people in positions of Parliament and so on. If they told Mike something and then Mike started spreading it round, Mike would be in trouble, and so would the person who told Mike. It's.
What happens at the lodge stays at the lodge.
Yeah.
And that is the good thing about being part of it. I personally, I'm not involved in anything that Mike goes to it, and Mike and I talked about. And they do a lot of good, I think, the lodge. It's just a sort of a private group of friends who do things for each other and the local community. That's the pretty much... I'm joking, Mike, when I call it the Dodgy Handshake Brigade. I have nothing against them.
My mate was...
I think they do a lot of good.
His dad was a Mason.
I think the Masons do a lot of good. I think the problem is people hear that somebody is in the Masonic Lodge, so they automatically assume because that person won't tell you what they're doing and things are kept private, or they're up to something dodgy.
Yeah.
No, it's just part of the lodge's rules that anything that is discussed within the lodge is kept within the lodge. It's a private conversation. I don't see an issue with that personally. I think it's a good thing. And there's a lot of very, very good lodge members.
I mean, you can sit there and you can say, it's something I've said for a long while. I think the internet has given us too much access to diagnostic information and information about drugs. I would rather go back to the days when they gave us the tablet, the capsule, the liquid, And that's all it said on the bottle. We didn't know what was in it. All we knew was the doctors had worked out roughly what should treat us.
Do you know, Martin, the problem is no doubt Vic will put up something that, you know, some comment at some point, and no doubt you will comment, as I probably will and others will. The issue is Vic obviously isn't listening. He doesn't give a shit what you or I think, or what he doesn't care about anybody else's opinion.
No.
So, which is sad.
Well, you know, Matt, here's the thing about the whole situation. Say he was 1,000% right about everything he talks about, and we weren't, and we were incorrect. Okay, at that point, you kind of got, you know, somewhere to stand on. You could be like, hey, I've done my research. I know what's right and what's wrong, blah, blah, blah. But he hasn't.
Yeah.
No, you can't spout things off from your imagination and go, this is fact, this was going to happen. You know, it doesn't work that way.
The thing is,
I knew that, Mike.
The problem with Vic is Vic likes to put information out, right or wrong. But if somebody questions his information that he's put out, he doesn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
It don't work like that. Doesn't work like that. If you're going to put information out, expect people to question it.
Yeah.
Because they will. And he can't handle that. So,
I'm quite happy to talk about anything, anybody, and anything I say on here, I'll say out to anybody else.
That is also true, Lisa. Yes,
That's very, very true.
Yes, if only his dad had had a wank that evening.
Same time, you kind of got to feel for the woman. I mean, she's had him living with her his entire life.
While we're talking about Victor and his mum, before somebody or he decides to explode at me and say, "You're slagging my mum off," blah, 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 blah.
Oh, that's not...
I have the utmost respect for your mother, Vic.
He did say she was doing quite well. Going and doing the bingo and does quite a bit of gardening when I spoke to her.
That lady has not been very well in recent years.
Mm-hmm.
And yet she never moans about it, just carries on.
Mm-hmm.
And she's, I believe she's in her 90s now.
I would say early 90s, isn't it? Early to mid?
So
yeah, because he was a late comer, wasn't he?
Full, yeah. Full respect to his mum for putting up with him.
Oh God, yeah.
Although he did kind of fuck up when he put that post up that his mum was moaning at him and the government were moaning him about getting a job. So even his own mother has told him to go out and get us a job. What did that say?
You can hear the conversation though. Victor, you are 57 years old. Get off your...
Cheech is Vic's mum.
Oh, Bill. You know what the scary part is? That might actually...
Yeah, you could. Yeah, Martin, you can just imagine that being Vic. Actually, you can picture it. Vic, the 50-year-old virgin.
Could you imagine that film?
Oh God, it would be boring.
That would be boring.
The thing is what annoys me with people like Vic, right? And I'm going to say another name in here, which is TVP. And I know Mark won't see this, but whatever Mark was, and Mark did make some monumental fuck-ups.
Mm-hmm.
Mark could actually take a joke.
Yeah.
And when I dealt with Mark when he was going through his controversial stage, shall we say, even when I told him he came in the charity one night and Bill had a word with him and I had a word with him, he couldn't have been nicer.
No.
I genuinely do believe that Mark has some psychological problems for whatever reason, maybe through too much drinking and whatever. Not that I'm belittling him for that, but I don't think Mark was he wasn't totally to blame for everything, put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he was, no. And I hate to say it, but up until the start of that, Mark was probably one of the best reviewers in the UK.
You can't take it away from Mark. His reviews and his camera work and stuff.
Camera work was good, yeah.
He was very, very good.
Yeah, his builds were good.
He just, what with Mark happened with Mark was he the drinking took over and other stuff like it just he just sort of lost the plot. It's I mean, I know he still does stuff, I think, on Instagram with other stuff. And good luck to him. I hope he's doing well, and I hope he's doing well and is looking after his daughter and so on. I really do. I hope he's doing well for himself.
Yeah.
You know,
well, think about it, Matt. We've talked about it before. How much did the hobby side of vaping keep people that had mixed paths when it came to whether it was alcohol or substance or whatever?
Yeah,
it got you away from that. It gave your head something else to focus on there, you know.
Yeah.
And then in the last 5 years, look where the communities went. Look at, you know, the downfall of people actually being there for each other and everything else. Old habits die hard. So unfortunately, people do tend to go back certain ways if they don't have the same ability to distract themselves and keep themselves busy.
I agree. I agree with you, Mike. Yeah, the stuff we're finding out that he was involved in the pedo stuff, you know, and there's other stuff that's come out about him.
Yeah.
But why did Vic choose to be so? It was like Vic used it as a.
It was malicious.
It was
for
a
what it
malicious
is.
game with him.
There was animosity between those two right back to 2015.
But that still doesn't justify saying certain things on either one of their sides.
Because Mark justifiably called Vic out on something.
Yep.
And Vic didn't like it.
Nope.
But we know what Mark said was true. There's proof out there. What started the whole feud between those two, there was proof out there that Mark was right.
And by all accounts, Mark still has that evidence. I've never seen it. Don't know whether that is true, but
there's certainly one lot of stuff where we could find it fairly easily.
Yeah.
It just means joining a couple of groups that I have no interest in. But that some of that information is there still.
Well,
how about
at least that's the thing. Both of them said things that should never have been said. We can't argue that.
But then you had other people behind the scenes doing it as well. It was
when that fuels the fire and makes it 10 times worse. Oh yeah.
There were 3 or 4 other people stirring the pot on both sides.
It was between them, they single-handedly wrecked the vaping community. They wrecked it.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah, actually, if you think about it, around that time period, roughly 6 months to a year after that, everybody started fighting over dumb shit. This person had this person's side, and vice versa, and it turned into
Oh,
a high
yeah.
school situation.
Yeah. Herb was definitely out of line anyway, because Herb was gunning for Vic anyway.
Yeah, and yet now Vic goes on a show. It sits
Herb
there
went
with
after a
him.
lot of us for no
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah, that's what gets me, is Vic is two-faced.
Well, like Herb tried to take a stab at me when we were on the old show. When he did one of his things, you know. Mind you, this is back when I was still in Zoom rooms on a weekly basis with all of them. And he showed up one week and I had just seen what he had said. I'm like, do you want to, can I get a reason to why you slagged me off for no reason? And he didn't have a whole lot to say. He said what he had to say. I'm like, and I gave him my reason for I am how I am. And that was the end of it. It wasn't a back and forth. It wasn't, I'm not saying he's my favorite person in the world, but at least it was a conversation. It wasn't how the other two went back and forth and got more dramatic and more personal and, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, don't get me wrong, Mike. I'm not saying I've any animosity towards Vic.
Hmm.
I'm just saying that there is a lot that Vic's done that I disagree with.
It's not Vic as a person that bothers me. It's his misinformation he spreads out there that other people follow and think is fact. That is what bothers me.
Personally, I don't think Vic will be doing reviews much longer. Not the way things are going.
No.
Well, he's
So
already
he's
cut
gonna
his
have-
YouTube stuff down to shorts pretty much.
Herb's gonna. As for Herb,
Herb's gone after me even.
Oh yeah. Well, and that's why Martin. That's why I said you had a conversation with the guy.
When I found that out, I nearly wet myself laughing. I'm like, what's he got on me? There's nothing, because I don't sit there and post my whole life on the internet. I'll talk to you guys in private rooms.
Oh,
It's not on the internet.
no.
Right.
Private rooms are just that.
yeah.
This room is public until we stop streaming.
Yeah.
And I've said nothing in this room ever that I would back down from.
Yeah.
Because it's all based on
Bullshit.
whatever facts I can actually find.
Well, and same time though, Bill, if it's not fact, you're gonna state this is my opinion on the subject we're talking about. It's not,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah. But I mean, I know Matt's done it and I've done it. We've both pulled Vic up big time in live streams and in private streams, where he's done the Patreon streams and that. We've pulled Vic to pieces in those. For something he said that was complete bullshit.
Yeah, it's happened a few times.
Once or twice, and there's a couple of others joined in because they knew what we knew.
Well, Lee, if he ever comes after you, roll the newspaper up real nice and tight, start swatting.
Hey, I cleaned an RDA out.
Good God.
Question is, how long were the coils and wicks and juice in that RDA before you cleaned it out?
I don't know, but it's clean. And I mean really clean. Fucking hell.
It was only platinum wire with some, you know.
It was silica wick. Ah, dear.
It wasn't that 14 mil IGO, was it?
Oh.
No.
God.
Yeah, I think everybody gets annoyed with the begging. Yeah.
I mean, that is what is most upsetting about him.
Yeah.
Is he sits there and begs and pleads poverty and all the rest of it. If he's genuinely got health issues, sort out your money. If he hasn't, go and earn your money.
Well, think about the earlier videos where every video he made, it went, this is technically a business and blah, blah, blah. Okay. So your business failed. So you didn't do things how you should have, or, could have, or whatever. And it didn't turn into what you thought it would. What do any of us do if a job doesn't work out? You move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's not a businessman. He doesn't understand how to run a business. He doesn't understand. Well, he claims he doesn't understand money. Because if he did, he'd understand the value of anything that he was using.
Yeah.
My issue is he's such a skin SOB all the time, doesn't want to spend money on anything, but he's still broke. At least that's what he says he is. I don't know what his personal account actually looks like, and I couldn't care to know, but
I can find out very easily how much money he's making. One of the things. Yeah, but just pull up his Patreon.
Yeah.
That tells you how much he's making.
I was thinking that's all he's got left, isn't it, his Patreon?
Yeah. It was the chair. Okay. It was the chair, Lee.
If you say so.
Yeah. Next week, Greg's son puts a whoopee cushion in the chair.
No, I'm just trying to get comfy. I've been sat down for a couple of hours when I'm on a union meeting now this, and sitting in the car for 3 hours driving as well. So, yeah.
Your legs start bothering you and everything else, yeah.
Just my backside's a bit to sleep.
Yeah.
Bit like his brain's gone to sleep as well. But anyway.
Oh, man did that hours ago.
You said it. Shall we call it an evening?
Only because you would have otherwise.
I would.
Wow. One of us would have.
Shall we call it an evening? As it's 2 hours and 22
I think so.
minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That went quick.
It did go quick. I remember looking, it was 47 minutes.
Yep.
An hour and a half ago.
It goes quickly.
It does, but I mean, we've had a bit of fun. We've taken the mick out of our favourite Scottish.
No, I don't have swamp ass.
Yes, he has.
Well, no, but this was the show we wanted this week. We wanted to lay back.
Yeah, he's got the liquid talc out, Mike. Don't worry.
That's why he bought the Cloud 9. Okay.
No, I bought Cloud 9 because I haven't tried Cloud 9 before. So I thought I might as well get myself a pop.
Well, you got to elaborate. Are you wicking with it, or?
He's wicking something with it, but. Go on then, before we're here tomorrow morning.
All right. I'll start this week. It's been a fun show tonight. Like I say, we've had a bit of fun taking the mick out of
each other. And each other. And each other.
And out with a certain small Scottish reviewer.
Git. I mean, yeah.
I hope everybody's had a laugh.
All right, cheers.
This
Thanks for
evening.
that, Steve.
And the group's there if you need us. Steve's been posting a bit more porn. There's been a few more bikes this week, which have been nice. I particularly like the Vincent, but that's always been my weakness, is the Vincents. I hope everybody has a really good week, and we're there if you need us. We're there if you don't. Over to you, Craig.
Yeah, thanks everyone for joining us as usual. As we all know, I was a little bit late because of being an expo and a union meeting. Yeah, the group is there. If anyone is struggling, we will be back again next week for the usual rabble and rumbles. I hope everyone has a good week, and I'll pass it on to Tyler.
Thanks, Greg. Well, as always, everybody, thanks for being here. Thanks for keeping the chat going and the conversation flowing. As always, groups there, you guys know that. If anybody has anything that they're personally struggling with that you'd like us to talk about on a future show, next week, week after, whatever, throw us a personal message if you don't want to put it on the group. If you want to put it on the group, put it there. But ideas are always appreciated. As Craig said, we'll see everybody next week and have a good one. Matt, say your goodbyes, buddy.
Bye.
All right, show over.
Right. Yeah, thank you for turning up. Craig will be on time next week, or he's sacked.
We can't sack him, he's in the union.
Oh, bollocks.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Well,
Wait, does that mean I'm safe too?
Not sure what we'll do.
Yours is the American Union.
That's run by the mob anyway.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Yeah, I better be careful.
Allegedly.
Yeah, you don't want another horse's head in your bed.
No way to talk about my ex-wife. I thought it was more of a
I knew that was coming there. You, the ex-wife, mentioned was getting mentioned there.
Oh, shit. Oh, dear. Yeah, next week's show, I'm not sure what we'll do. I'll have a think this week. We'll come up with something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you do need any help, mental help, don't ask me because I'm clueless on it. But,
Well, you're mental.
yeah. I know
And he
what
needs help. So
I need help. So it's Mike, I shall fire that link over in a second, mate. Yeah, I think that's about all there's to say tonight. So we shall see you all next week, guys. So bye-bye for now.
See you next week, guys.
Bye-bye.
Go on, everybody.
Bye.